night, getting you ready for Sacramento Kings basketball.
He's got the bucket!
Game night is presented by Power Business Technology, your locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Contact them at 844-POWER-BZ or visit them at powercopiers.com. Here's your host, Scott Marsh, alongside the high flyer, Henry Turner.
And Jason Ross filling in today for Scott Marsh. We got the high flyer, Henry Turner here.
In the building, baby!
Got to get some positive mojo back, Henry. That was a stinker the Kings gave back the other day.
It was tough, man.
Yeah.
It really was tough. And, you know, I've been riding them hard, but I really want this team to get the mindset right.
Yeah.
To understand that, you know, you have to come in and take care of business if you want to reach your goals at the end.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because, you know, we were all so entwined in at the end of the season last year trying to figure out, okay, how many games is it going to take for us to get there? Right? And, you know, I argued with Katie a little bit, and I said, you know, I'm not upset about this game, and I'm not going to jump off the bridge, but it starts with 1, and then it becomes 2. Then it becomes 3. And then all of a sudden you got 6 games, Jason, to where you lost to undermanned teams, right?
Right.
We missed the playoffs by 3 games.
Absolutely. They all add up. They all count.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
I know it's a long season, and teams are going to have their ups and downs, but it really – because he tried to bring up Boston. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, Boston has up and down. So I'm like, bro, you cannot compare – Boston season and Sacramento Kings season. Yes, Boston went and did it all the way, but we're right there on the bubble trying to make it into the playoffs. Those 3 games count.
Yeah, I think Boston actually is a good example. Where my counter would be on Boston would be, I think Boston's the best team in the league. That's not an earth-shattering statement. So if that's the baseline, Henry, they're better than everybody.
Right.
So when they lose, call it an upset, whatever, but they're not going to win all 82.
No.
Well, the Kings aren't as good as Boston, and they kind of went through this the last couple of years where they gave some of these games back. So if they could build a resume that's like Boston, where you jump out to a 10-3 start and you slip one, you go, okay, that happens. Now you're 20-7. Okay, you lose that one, but they're 500. They haven't figured it all quite out yet, and it's one. Yeah, I mean, I'm not panicked, but it's a symptom of what they've done before.
That's the point that I was trying to make right there, Jason. You so eloquently put it to where I like it, but we're talking about the same thing. And, you know, and you want this ball club to be better than that because, you know, they can be better than that.
Yeah. Yeah. And my example would be, so let's go to January. I don't know where the Kings record's going to be late January, but this is a road trip they're going to look at later this year. Denver, New York, Brooklyn, Philly, Oklahoma City, Minnesota. Now that's a whopper. This one they're on, it's not a killer. Doesn't mean it's always tough to win on the road.
Right.
But these are 4 games that I think were manageable. Also doesn't mean you sweep them, but you'd like to see them play well. And I think they've done some good things, and it still could be a good trip with a win tonight, but they did give one back last game.
They did, Jason. And, you know, what really bothers me with this, because it's a blown opportunity.
Yeah.
Because you're going up against a team that's undermanned.
Right.
So every time, I'm not saying you are going to win every time against an undermanned team, right, but it's an opportunity that presents itself to give you a better position to where you can win these games.
Yeah.
And if you can go in there and play these teams that don't have their quote-unquote starting 5 in there and get them, then you have a plus on your hands.
Yeah, and it puts a little more on tonight. Look, Miami's the best team they're playing on the trip. They are beatable, but Henry, you've been on the Kings and had to go to Miami. For what the teams have been, Kings have been a 1 seed and gone to Miami. And
right,
like there's a lot of teams, good, bad, and different, that have gone to Miami as Sacramento Kings, and more times than not, they lose.
And true. So that made that game in Toronto that much more, you know, wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were right there. They were undermanned. You should have got that game. And, you know, and I think that's where the frustration comes in, Jason, because it was there.
So let's go to the why. What in your mind? I missed Saturday's game with you. I did watch it, but why did you think? I mean, they were really chasing the game all night long, and they did a good job of reeling back into the fourth quarter. And I thought when they got to overtime, I thought, okay, you know, they're going to win in the last 5 minutes here. They did not. De'Aaron had a brutal shooting game, but kind of the team did too from three. But what were some of your keys as to why it didn't go their way?
You know what, Jason? Two. And one is a lot bigger than the other. The Kings defense still isn't where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
They play small ball. I honestly think that the matchup zone, guys don't have to learn how to play that a little bit better. They let teams get too many wide open 3-pointers on that. But I think the main meat and potato problem with this team, we're not shooting the ball well, Jason.
Yeah.
If the Kings were shooting the 3-ball well, we wouldn't be having no type of conversations right now. Because really, they didn't shoot the ball well against Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
They really didn't shoot the ball well against Portland, but they still was able to win. So they didn't shoot the ball well against Toronto. So now what?
So I guess my question is, I don't think they shot the ball well in the preseason. Is this not a good shooting team? Or do we need to see more games?
I think we need to see more games because really, this is still the same team that 2 years ago shot lights out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the reason why we made it to that third seed, because they shot the ball so well.
Yeah.
And, and it would be easier to say the Kings can't shoot the basketball if they only shot the ball well, 5-6 games when they made that third seed. No, they shot the ball well the whole year.
Yeah.
So that lets you know they can shoot the basketball. Right now, it just isn't falling. And things like that can turn around in one night.
Oh, yeah. Like Fox's 0 for 11 could be
Right.
a 4 of 7 tonight from 3.
Exactly. It can turn around one night. But it's just been the situation to where they haven't shot the ball well from 3.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we lived and died at for these last 2 years. That's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
So if you're not getting no bread and butter, you're going to be hungry at the end of the night.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that this early in the season, the Kings are near the top in all the categories of free throw shooting, where they used to live at the bottom, and they were one of the better three-point shooting teams, and now they're near the bottom in the three-point. I mean, you'd like to see the free throws going down, but I'd like to see some threes start to fall too.
That's the way this team plays, Jason. They have to knock down threes. If the Kings don't shoot the ball well, particularly from 3, it's going to be a tough season.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sorry, we play small ball. That's the way we play. We were just talking about how Mike Brown, he loves to drive and spray out for 3. Well, you don't get too many drives and spray for 3s with a set defense.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get that in transition. So in order to get in transition, now we're talking about doing things on the defensive end. You got to rebound the ball. You got to get steals. You got to get deflections. You have to get out in transition. And now you can drive to the basket, get into the paint, and spray for the corner for 3s.
Would you like to see him ditch the zone?
No, because
Just be better at it.
Here's the problem with you said if you're going to ditch the zone, because they go to the zone because a lot they have Trey in there at the 5,
Mm-hmm.
and they bring 2 other guys down so they can rebound the basketball. The problem is the 2 guys up front. The 2 guys up front, both of those guys are on the ball at the same time.
Which they don't need to be.
No, it's guard and bump. I have to bump you off, guard and bump. 2 guys can't be on the ball at the same time because why? The 2 wings are wide open. And then then you throw it to a wing and that forward comes up to guard that wing, who's on that baseline guy?
Right.
Nobody.
Yeah, I can't remember what game. I think it was Utah. We were looking at a couple of times where it was one pass in the zone to get an open 3. Like if you move bodies around the zone, that's what you need to do. Move man, move bodies. Maybe you'll get an open look on 6, 7, 8 passes, good hard cuts. It was one pass, corner 3 wide open.
And another thing too, if in the zone, Jason, if your guy, because you're guarding a zone, but if you got a guy in your zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he makes a cut and there's nobody else in that corner, you have to follow him until you give him to the next defender.
Right.
You can't just say, here he is, he's cutting, he's coming. Well, when he overloads, he's by himself.
Yeah.
And you're standing in the corner by yourself because he just left your side.
Right.
You have to give him to somebody else. And that's what the Kings have been guilty of.
Yeah.
It's just not knowing how to run the zone.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's it's still early in the season, still incorporating some guys. I think the other thing I'd like to see, Henry, is I feel like they've kind of figured out the starting 5 with the exception of Herter missing the last game, and so they went to McDermott. The bench, it's not quite locked in. I mean, Malik's, you got him. They've now kind of figured out to play Keon here. Trey, I don't think has been up to his normal stuff. And then they're about 8 to 9 deep right now, and I don't feel like that group has given them the boost that they normally would get.
For one, we go back to it. They're not shooting the ball well.
Yeah. That group too, yeah.
Okay, Malik is not shooting the ball well. All right. Keon doesn't shoot that much, but he still isn't shooting the ball well. And Trey is not shooting the ball well. So those are the main three guys that's coming off the bench for you, and they're not shooting the three ball well.
Yeah.
If those guys are knocking down shots, we got a whole different conversation we're having.
Yeah. And I think if they're hitting down shots, it's another point you've been bringing up is then maybe it shrinks the minutes of DeRozan, of Murray, of Sabonis, of Fox, because those guys are logging a lot of minutes.
A lot. It does. It's all about you have to be able to knock those shots down. I'm sorry, but we can, try to spread jelly all over this team. But at the end of the day, if they don't make shots, it's going to be hard to win.
Yeah, it will be. And they learned that pretty quickly the other night in Toronto. So it's still a 2-1 trip. It can be 3-1 if they can win today in Miami. Henry and I are going to talk more about that as game night continues here in a moment. Jason Ross in for Scott Marsh. Want to tell you about Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Sacramento, and they're looking for volunteer mentors for just a few hours a month. You can impact the life of a child. Call 916-646-9300. That's 916-646-9300, or visit bbbs-sac.org to learn more. All right, we're back with more as we continue to preview the Kings and the Miami Heat. That's all right here on Sacktown Sports.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Yeah, there are so many football games streaming this season. Can Xfinity Internet handle it?
Oh, we know the game is only live once, so we built a network with all-pro speeds and low lag so you don't miss a snap.
So I can yell, "He's open!" when he's actually open?
Yeah, but the quarterback still can't hear you.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and TV and enjoy instant access to your favorite live sports with the Xfinity Stream app. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Streaming content limited to the U.S. Programming subject to change.
Don't miss Stoney's Rockin' Rodeo's 17-year anniversary bash this Saturday night with a free tri-tip dinner. That's right, free tri-tip dinner and free late-night biscuits and gravy. So don't miss Stoney's 17-year anniversary bash this Saturday night, plus free dance lessons, sing some karaoke, or ride Stoney's mechanical ball. I'll see you on the dance floor.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery from the law firm of Gingery, Hammer and Associates. When you have been injured by the fault of another, you will want advice you can trust. If you know an attorney you can trust, I hope you call that person. But if you don't, please call me. I promise I will be the attorney you can trust, along with my entire team. I have been helping accident survivors recover compensation for their injuries for 25 years, and we can help you. There is no charge for calling. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
To all you tool people out there, has Harbor Freight got a deal for you? Big savings every single day this November. Because we know that right now, when the price of everything only seems to go up, you need a place where prices stay low. So shop in-store or online for quality tools you can trust at prices you'll love every day. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything. But while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHTK-HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
All right, game night rolling along. Jason Ross in for Scott Marsh, along with the high flyer, Henry Turner here, as the Kings are in Miami. Take on the Heat.
Yes, sir. We can move on from that one.
Move on from the Raptors?
Yep.
But the Miami Heat, I don't know, Henry, a few distractions down there in Miami?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
One of the few places in the NBA I haven't been. I haven't been to South Beach. I'd like to go.
You ever been?
I haven't been there.
I tell you what.
I'd like to find the distractions.
You wouldn't be disappointed.
Yeah?
If you're looking to find anything in Miami, you can find it.
So you were from the Bay. You were a King. You've been here. Like if you could pick like your, I could be on a team, dream location, dream career.
Bro.
Where are you going?
It's only a couple of places that, that's perfect in all aspects. LA is number 1. New York is number 2. Number 3, Miami. Number 4, Atlanta.
You're the big city guy, and you played your time with the Sacramento Kings.
I came here to the Kings.
So that would be your choices: New York. I'm sorry, LA, New York.
Yep.
Atlanta. What was the third one you said in between?
Miami.
Oh, Miami. Yeah. Yeah, that's. I mean, that if you're have a kind of career in any of those spots, specifically New York or LA, my goodness, you're just going to become legendary status.
It don't get any better.
Yeah.
Like right now, let's say in Miami, Lonzo Mourning can't do no wrong.
Right.
In Miami.
Yeah.
He can go anywhere he wants to and do whatever in Miami.
The only thing we need to work on Miami is the Dwayne Wade statue. Can we get some help on that one?
You don't like the statue, though?
I like it. I think it's awesome. And the best thing is, and whether or not Dwayne's being nice, he was like, I think it looks great. And it's like, well, I don't think it looks like him that much. It's not terrible. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. And look, I will admit, Henry, I couldn't come remotely close to making anything like that. But do you think it looks like him?
I will say this. Just by the pictures, no.
Yeah.
But according to everybody that see it in person,
okay,
says the pictures don't do it justice.
As long as he's happy with it, right? And he should have one anyway. I mean, that's
no doubt.
He's
no doubt
Mr. Miami Heat.
Yes.
Him and really Pat Riley, now Spoelstra, what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and this is, when people talk about culture, that's actually one of the first teams, them and the Spurs are kind of just who I picture. The Jazz under Jerry Sloan. Like they always were. It didn't matter if people were out. You kind of knew what you were getting when you're playing those teams.
And Jason, when you start talking about culture, it's funny how you run into all the small market teams, because we know LA is who they are. Boston is who they are. New York is who they are. But when you start talking about building a culture, it's funny how you go to Utah, you go to San Antonio, and then, Miami was an expansion team. Right. So when Riles goes down to Miami, they changed the culture.
Yeah.
And he's the big part of that. If you've ever been around Pat or talked to players that play for Pat, or, anybody that's been through the Lakers organization that had to deal with Pat Riley, it's one way.
Yeah.
It's one way.
Yep.
If you ever been the exact same thing in San Antonio, it's one way. It's Pop way.
Yep.
You go to Utah, it was one way. It was Sloan's way.
Right.
Those was the guys that set the tone.
Yeah, and I feel like Zoe has been there long enough now under Riley that, whenever the time comes for Pat Riley to be done, like Zoe will probably keep as close to that mold of what Riley had as expectations for that organization.
He knows no other way.
Yeah. And he's intense too.
He knows no other way, and the same thing. Spo is a little different, but I think he's still in that mold. Spo ain't boisterous.
Mhm.
He's not a guy that's going to be, rah-rah like that, but he holds you to that standard.
Yeah, he's a great coach.
He holds you to that standard.
Yeah, so the Kings are in Miami tonight, which, like we said, has just traditionally been a tough place to play for a variety of reasons. One, the Heat have been good for a long time. Still a good team.
Right.
A couple years removed from getting to the finals, but they're still trying to find their way in this early part of the season, as are the Kings. So I think this is going to be a good matchup tonight. I like the Sabonis versus Bam Adebayo matchup.
Oh, wow. It's always a good one with those two.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I like the Jimmy Butler DeRozan
Yes.
hook up. So,
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of good storylines. And honestly, Jason, I think the Kings are going to come with their A game tonight.
Yeah, I think they have to, and I think they know that, and I'd like to see the response after the loss, after they feel like they gave one back. And tonight's game, we got to talk about our injury report update, which is brought to you by the law firm of Gingery, Hammer, and Associates. If you've got an injury, just call Gingery. Well, the Kings don't have an injury per se, but they still have an illness. Kevin Huerter is not going to play again tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The Kings had a shoot-around earlier this morning, and so, the people that were on site, a couple different reports wearing the first-team jerseys. There was Colby Jones, even Keon Ellis. It's not Malik Monk, though. They just will not start Malik Monk, will they?
For whatever reason, I have no idea. And, Jay, I'm the last guy that harps on who's to start.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've always said it's all about who finishes the game, not who starts. But I look at Malik Monk's career here, and I'm like, this guy has not started one game as a Sacramento King.
Yeah.
Not one. I'm like, let's just test it, bro, and put him in the game. Start him one game and see what happens.
I understand the rationale of kind of in the blanket statement bringing him off the bench, but now you're in a spot where an important piece to the puzzle is out. Plug in a very important piece to your bench, and just the fact that it hasn't been tried is stunning to me. I mean,
that's me right there.
Yeah, Davion started.
That's me.
Duarte started. McBuckets, Doug McDermott started last game. If it is Colby Jones or Keon, like everybody but him,
you can go on and on. Guys who have left this team.
Tazy Akpala started a game,
right?
Yeah,
and I'm like, why not try it?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a long-term. It could just be tonight.
It could just be a one-game
one-off
thing. Try it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, we know Malik's going to play 25 to 35 minutes. That's not the issue. It's just, I don't know. What if you jump out to a 20-2 lead with the starters? Like, hey, that worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
And then it's a matter of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. Yeah.
So I would love to just see. It would be we wouldn't even be having this conversation if Malik Monk had started one game.
Right. But it's not happened.
He
anytime in Sacramento. He's been such a good King. And they ask a lot of him off the bench, and he does provide all that, but it's just interesting. Just one time to see it.
Just one time, bro.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be tonight. So hopefully Huerter, I hope this isn't a long term. We knew he was going to miss the other night. And now it's a couple days out for Huerter. And he was, I think, to start this season here, I've actually been encouraged by the way Huerter has played.
Me too. It seems like Red Velvet was bouncing back. He had bounce in his step. He was given a little extra on the defensive end, which I like.
Yeah.
And then, he's seen a couple of shots go down. I think he's gotten his confidence back. Sad to see that he's a little sick. He's a little under the weather and, wish he has a speedy recovery.
Yeah. And still we see it. I mean, people are still hunting Huerter. That hasn't gone away, but I think he's handled that better. He's gotten help too. He's not given straight line drives to the hoop. I mean, he's making people either work or getting stops, deflections, and other things. So that's going to keep him on the floor.
And Jason, and that's all you can ask from a player is that, what? This is the situation. Give me a little resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing that.
Right.
He isn't just bagging down, letting guys have their way. He is putting in a little extra effort. So, you know what? My hat's off to him. I see you working, son. I see you trying to do things better.
Yeah, and so hopefully it is a speedy recovery for him. I know they started McDermott last game. It almost feels incomplete. I mean, he played 15 minutes. I think he had 4 points. Didn't have a huge run in that game. I understood. Actually, I did understand the starting of him because he feels like a duplication of Huerter. If you like Huerter there, you bring him in. He started. He's a veteran.
Right.
You can still keep your bench true to what it is. But we're not 100% certain who's starting tonight at the 2, but we just know that Huerter's out.
Right. And and at the end of the day, Jason, even with Monk, it really don't matter.
Yep.
This is just us as fans saying,
We don't
Let's
see it one time.
Right. You know what? Can I have one piece of candy?
Just one.
You know, I know I'm a diabetic, but can I have just one piece?
I don't need the whole bag.
I just want one little Hershey's Kiss, and let me ride with
just
that.
satisfy our curiosity.
Yes.
To see how it would look. And he does get run. Malik does get run with those guys too. That group. That's I think right now some of the metrics. It's early, but the metrics of that starting five are looking pretty good offensively and defensively with DeMar DeRozan into the mix. And how good has he been now, Henry? That's every game over 20 points. He's been really good.
Debo has been good. He's been very, very good for this basketball team. He's been a leader. I kind of want to say he's been a trendsetter because it seems like everybody is shooting the basketball better from the free throw line since he came
That's
here.
True, if it works, right?
Yeah, right. So, at the end of the day, Jason, the only thing that we have to really, really point our finger at this basketball team is that they're not shooting the three ball well.
Yeah.
The number one option for them is not number one right now.
Yeah, and ironically, like Sabonis is doing it okay. Like someone that just doesn't take that many and you didn't expect going into the year, but now they want him to take more. His percentage is pretty good.
Right.
It's the guys that take them in bunches that aren't hitting them.
And that's where we're coming up short.
Yeah. Got to see if they can get that today. Let's hear on game night. Welcome in Mike. Mike, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. And that's one thing I've never understood with Mike Brown is his rotations. And then bringing Malik Monk off the bench. Everybody's been talking about DeRozan coming in tomorrow and that they can't double box. They can't double team Sabonis. The last 2 years, if Monk was starting, it's the same situation. You can't double those guys. You bury teams in the first quarter. You don't let them get a jump on you. Like a lot of the games they lost last year against Detroit. If you bury a team like Detroit in the first quarter, the guys don't get any confidence, and they're not going to do anything the rest of the game. But when you don't put your best team on the floor and you let a team that's not up to your level get confidence, they're going to have confidence for the rest of the game. And then you end up losing those games that you had no business losing. I just think Malik Monk should be in the starting lineup, and he should have been in there the last 2 years. Mike Brown's rotations, it doesn't make sense a lot of times.
All right, Mike. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair thing. We question it a little bit too. Again, just to see what it would look like. And I think obviously when Herter's right, then maybe you just go back to that. But or if Monk proves to be like it's amazing, then hey, you found something there.
At the end of the day, it's just like I would just like to see it once. And this and this is just all on my personal preference. I would love to see the guy start at least one game. But and I'm going off of what the caller was talking about the double teaming guys and double teaming De'Aaron, double teaming DeRozan. Right now, it ain't no use to double teaming them. We're not shooting the ball well. So why would I double team you?
Yeah.
The Kings aren't shooting the ball well. If they shoot the ball well, Jason, I'm telling you, we don't have this conversation because they win in these games.
Yeah. I was thinking back to Henry too, to early 2000s or so, and there'd be a time or two where maybe Peja would miss, and it would make sense maybe Hito or someone else, or maybe they go smaller, bring Bobby into the starting lineup. But he would always bring in Gerald Wallace, and Gerald Wallace at that time was 12th, 11th, 10th, 12th man. And you're like, why would he do that? But he wanted to keep the rest of the bench kind of integrity the way it was. And I mean, look, there's a lot of ways to coach. There's no pamphlet that says this is what you do. And you got it. This is what Mike Brown's, whether you like it or not, this is how he does it.
Right. And every coach has their way. We can question it all day and night.
Absolutely.
All day and night. That's why I say, for me, it's just on my personal side.
Yeah.
I would just love to see the guy start one game.
Yeah.
Just so you can get it out. Even Bronny played one game.
That's true.
Let's hurry up and get this out the way.
That's right. All right. We remind you how you can experience the power of family and how it can help your business office equipment needs today. Contact them. That's Power Business Technology. Contact them at 844-POWER-BZ or go to powercopiers.com. All right. We got much more game night coming your way. That is straight ahead here on Sacktown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings. News.
Hi, this is Henry Turner. No one likes waiting. Sometimes, even minutes can feel like an eternity. So imagine if you're youth waiting for a mentor. It seems like years. Big brothers and big sisters of the greater Sacramento area need your help. More than 100 kids in the Sacramento, Yolo, and South Placer County are waiting for someone to defend their potential. Come on, Sacramento. Stand up. Let's do this the high flyer way. With your help, we can make this thing a slam dunk. Join us at bbbs.sac.org or call 916-646-9300.
Welcome back to another exciting game day. Grab your rally towels, throw on your jerseys, cheer, shout, and save on your gas. That's right, sports fans win big on home game days. Score instant savings of 25 cents per gallon on Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline with the Fuel Rewards program. And that's a victory for you and your tailgate team. Download the app, join the Fuel Rewards program today, and game on. Restrictions apply. Limited time. At participating Shell stations. For more details, visit fuelrewards.com.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Because now at Staples, you can save up to $50 on your print purchase. From posters and flyers to signs and menus, Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. And with Staples Print Perfect Guarantee, it's done right or it's printed again free. Plus, same-day service is available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. Get it printed right at Staples. And now get up to $50 off your print purchase. And 7/6, visit staples.com/print for details.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat. Bring out all the flavors of the upcoming holidays with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. Napoleon grills that features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last, complete with a lifetime warranty. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just because it's November does not mean we can't barbecue outside. Visit California Backyard now for your best selection of grills and Napoleon Grills accessories.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
David Dusek writes in Golf Week that according to FootJoy, about 65% of golfers wear the wrong size golf gloves. A properly fit and maintained golf glove will help you stay connected to the club without extra tension, which can mean more speed. Snug is the name of the game. A perfect glove should fit like a second skin, wrapping tightly around your palm and fingers. If the glove is too loose, the extra material can bunch up and lead to a bad connection between your hands and the grip. The fingers of the glove should extend just to the tips of your fingers. If there's too much space at the end of your fingers, try a cadet version of the glove made for golfers who have shorter fingers and wider palms. The Velcro closure should only require a slight pull to secure. If you're stretching the strap significantly, the glove is too small. Natural leather offers superior feel and touch. Synthetic leather gloves tend to cost less and probably last longer. After your round, air out your glove to maintain softness and flexibility. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
All right, Jason Ross, the high flyer, Henry Turner. We're in for the long haul tonight. In for Scott Marsh. Then Henry and I have Kings Live pregame. G-Man on the call. We'll be back for the half and the postgame. And again, a 3-1 trip, Henry. That's kind of what the swing here. 2-2 is not terrible, but you don't like losing the last two, especially losing the one they just lost the other day. But 3-1, I'm good with that if they could do that tonight.
Oh, I'm happy.
Yeah,
with 3-1. Believe me, I'm elated with 3-1. And honestly, Jason, if you look at the overall big scheme, 2-2 is a good road trip.
Yeah.
You know, you go 50% on the road, it's a good road trip.
But you left some meat on the bone.
That's the only thing that we really puts, a knife in your craw, but we're going to leave that alone.
Yeah.
The 2-2 will be good, but if they can come out with a win tonight, it'll be great.
So just win, and we're all good.
We're all good.
All right. So how do they get it done against this Miami team? Again, that's, look, when you start talking about some of their best players, still Jimmy Butler, still
right.
Bam. Here,
right.
I mean, this is a well-coached team that right now, their start of the season, they're still in the early going. They're 3-2. It's just I always feel like you have to beat Miami. Miami never gives you games.
And that's the thing. They don't beat themselves.
Right.
So the Kings are going to have to go in and they're going to have to play their A game. I mean, it's just imperative. They have to shoot the ball better, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, They got to shoot the 3-ball better. If we don't shoot the 3-ball better, it's going to be a long night for us.
Yeah. Much like you said, you just want to see one time Malik starting. I want to see what the team looks like one time when they have a good night shooting the 3-ball. Then we're going, hey, this looks pretty good.
Well, you know what, Jason? 2 years ago, we saw a whole bunch of nights.
Yes.
To where this team shot the ball great
True.
From 3-point land. So we know, and it's been the exact same guys.
Yeah.
So we know they can shoot. It's just a point to where right now it haven't really clicked.
Yeah. Anything to Fox in that left? I mean, he's playing with it. I mean, if you're injured and you play, or if you're playing, I shouldn't even say how injured he is, but he's playing. You get evaluated. 0 for 11 the other night from 3. Anything related to that finger at all? Because he's shooting free throws fine.
You know what? I flushed that.
Yeah.
I flushed that because De'Aaron's the type of player to where if he's on the floor and he's playing and you shoot, oh well, shoot the ball. Because if it goes in, great. If it don't look down at the hand.
Right.
It's all about you. Because if it bothers him to the point to where he can't shoot the ball comfortably, don't play.
Yeah. And, I feel like we have to mention injuries in a fair way in this sense. Like, he's playing. The Pelicans don't have 3 starters. Paolo Banchero is out. Like, they're not missing Fox. He's playing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So
he's just – and really it's just been this last game where he shot 0.
Right.
He's made 3-pointers. So at the end of the day, he just didn't shoot the ball well against Toronto.
Yeah, and as we look kind of at the Western Conference standings, even with this 3-3, they're kind of right in the mix right now. A couple teams off to great starts. You get the Thunder at 6-0, and a lot of people thought they would be good. Phoenix was a team personally I thought was probably under target. I think they're really good if ever they stay healthy. They're 5-1, and the Warriors off to a surprising 5-1 start.
I'm surprised about Golden State, but I tell you what, we talk about how our team is struggling to shoot 3. Golden State Warriors are shooting the ball like crazy from the 3-point line. I mean, even in preseason, Jason, we were down there and we're watching those guys shoot the ball. We're like, Jesus. I mean,
they all can.
We know Clay is going, but is he?
Yeah.
It felt like his ghost was still in Chase Center. Everybody for Golden State was knocking down 3s.
Yeah, they got quality shooting, and they've taken advantage of their schedule early going. So they're 5-1. Dallas, they're at 4-2. Lakers at 4-2, and the Kings then right in that mix. So that's it. Kind of just stick with the pack, find your groove. It's still early in the season, and what I like is I know the Kings haven't played their best basketball yet.
At all.
Yeah.
At all. We're right now, and honestly, Jason, I haven't seen a game this year to where I was like, yeah, Kings, let's go.
Right.
They haven't had one of those games yet.
Maybe it's tonight.
So, we know they're coming, and let's hope it's tonight.
Yeah, let's hope so. Henry and I are back here in just a moment with the G-Man as well on Kings Live pregame. As we head out, I want to remind you about RT Painting, and our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1988. It's employee-owned, and our attention to detail is second to none, but our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Then you can get a quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112, or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable